Hawks lays an egg by Butterfly Apocalypse on AO3. Episode 8, Chapter 4. Watching Omelette was boring. Dabi thought he knew what to expect. He'd been taking some shifts watching Omelette while Hawks napped or showered, but this was the first time truly alone with Omelette. It turned out there was a big difference between watching, sometimes cuddling, an egg for an hour and watching an egg all day. He spent the first hour consistently checking Omelette's temperature and the room's humidity, and wondered if he should text Hawks. Hawks left a feather tucked against Omelette, so he would know for sure if something was wrong. By the second hour, the novelty of egg-sitting, not literally, had worn off. See, the thing about eggs was they don't do anything. Dabi started texting Toga idly. 2 stabby 1. Yo. Yes, Dabi purposely backspaced and make sure there was no capitals in his text. He didn't want to make anyone get the wrong idea that he cared. Capital letters just seemed too enthusiastic. Toga's response was immediate. From Stabby 1. Oh my god, hi, Dabi-kun! From the Stabby 1. I can't believe you're actually texting me. From the Stabby 1. Did something happen? Do you need me to stab someone? Yeesh. Toga needed to chill. In a way, he supposed everyone who joined the league kind of needed to chill. Needing to chill was pretty much a requirement for joining. If Hawks really wanted to join the league, he was gonna have to get unchill about a lot of things real quick. 2 stabby 1. No, nothing happened. Keep your flower on. 2 stabby 1. Just bored. From stabby 1. Oh, Hawks isn't there to entertain you? Kissy face, kissy face. From the stabby 1. That was supposed to be you two kissing. 2 stabby 1. Yeah, got that. From the stabby 1. So, do you want to talk about boys? Kissy face. 2 stabby 1. No. 2 the stabby 1. Bye. From the stabby 1. No, I'm sorry, Dabi-kun. Come back. 2 the stabby 1. I have to take care of my egg. From the stabby 1. Send pics, please. 2 the stabby 1. No. From the stabby 1. Crying emoji. 2 the stabby 1. Attached image. From the stabby 1. Crying face, crying face, crying face. Dabi sighed to himself. He wanted to say no just to be courtesy, but at the same time, who else was he going to show off his unhatched baby to? He quickly snapped a picture, but held off a few minutes before sending it. Can't let Toga think he's gone too soft, you know? He ignored the jubilant of smiley, sparkly flowers, whatever econ she sent him in response, and finally hit send. The nice thing about sending the picture to Toga was that he didn't have to worry about sending it to anyone else in the league. She would handle that in no time. So it was back to being bored. He checked Omelette's temperature with a fancy laser thermometer Hawks had gotten. He was a little on the cool side. Hawks pulled Omelette onto his arms and raised his own body temperature a bit. Not enough to converse, but just serving as a human heating blanket. He heated up too much, apparently, because it wasn't moments later before his phone gave the signature chicken kaboo. That was his text tone for Hawks. From Baby Mama. Hey, hot stuff, you better not soft boil our baby. Dabi didn't send a reply, but he did put Omelette down. He'd just been trying to do the right thing. Why was this so hard? 90% of the egg care was sitting around and checking the temperature. The other part was warming it up. It was like the microwave dinner of childcare. How was he messing it up? With a frustrated sigh, he adjusted the blankets and feathers around Omelette and got up. He was alone in Hawks' apartment. It was snooping time. He didn't know when Hawks would be home, and he had to check on Omelette every few minutes, so it was by no means the finest scooping job, but it was solid entertainment for a good hour and a half. First, he rummaged through Hawks' drawers. Most of Hawks' shirts were fitted V-necks, which came as no surprise. His jean drawer looked like it hadn't been open in a while, but was full of tailored dark wash jeans, and for some reason, indistinguishable to Dabi, several capris. Why did Hawks own capris? His underwear drawer was fun. Mostly practical, but there were a few sexy numbers in there that conjured up some fun images. There were a few toys in there too, but much less to Dabi's excitement, just based on how Hawks was, yeesh. The guy really didn't have much free time. Dabi also found out that Hawks owned so many accessories. How many rings did he need? He only had 10 fingers. He would probably make the Lord of the Rings or whatever jealous. Who was the Lord of the Rings? Did he collect rings? What was his deal? Dabi had never seen that movie. Dabi felt slightly disappointed that he didn't find anything juicier. From just his apartment, one might think Hawks was boring, which wasn't true, objectively. Maybe Hawks was just really good at hiding his secrets. He was about to wrap up his snooping adventure. Snoop-venture? When something familiar caught his eye. Tucked between the nightstand bed was one of Dabi's shirts? He'd been missing this. His wardrobe was one you might call minimalist, so when something goes missing, he notices. His first reaction was to be angry that Hawks had stolen from him, regardless of the fact that he stole from Hawks all the time. He probably had something like 8 of Hawks' shirts at this point. But no, Hawks, even if he wanted to be a villain, was still noble and wouldn't resort to petty theft of Dabi's raggedy old shirts. The implication, then, of Hawks keeping the shirt, Dabi shoved it back where it had been. He didn't want to deal with that. If Hawks had a stupid crush on him, that was his dumbass problem. Dabi was a hardened criminal with no... He glanced at Omelette. Very few things other than hate. He could do associates with benefits thing without catching feelings or whatever. No problem. Poor Hawks getting attached. How embarrassing. Dabi definitely did not smile to himself as he returned Hawks' belongings to their original positions. He most certainly did not do anything as ridiculous as hum as he said about checking on Omelette again. There were no witnesses. It didn't happen. Wait, shit. Did Omelette have ears? Not that it mattered, because he wasn't humming. Omelette's temperature was fine. The humidity was fine. He didn't want to risk warming him up too much by cuddling, but he also didn't want to risk leaving him for too long to do anything productive. This is what Hawks had been dealing with for the past 3 weeks. Dabi was about to settle for staring off into space when he was struck by inspiration. He could see exactly what Omelette was doing. They still had the candling supplies. In no time, Omelette was set up on the light, tucked in with blankets, and the curtains were drawn. There, against the golden red of the yolk, was a tiny fetus. Dabi had honestly starstruck every time he saw it. Every time they candled him. Omelette had grown a little. How was he about the size of an apple and a distinctly bean-shaped silhouette? Right now, Omelette, inside the egg, could fit in Dabi's hand. He could no longer see his heartbeat through the silhouette, but if he pressed his ear against the shell, he thought he might be able to hear the fluttering pulse. That was his baby. Did Omelette have ears? This was an interesting thought. Dabi knew that sometimes people would put headphones against pregnant people's bellies. He wondered if Omelette could hear him talking to him. Worth a shot. Hey. Dabi started. Nice and casual. Good start. So, you're a baby. That was less suave. You're my baby. That was good. Parental. I don't know if you have years yet. Maybe that was a weird thing to say. Back it up. I don't know if you could hear me, but, since I guess I'm gonna be raising you, too aloof. Since I'm gonna be your dad, commit, you coward. Since I am your dad, I think we should get to know each other. But I'm doing all the talking, so for now you're only gonna get to know me. Omelette knows that. Get to the point, yeesh. I think you should know who I am. Why was this so hard? This shouldn't be this hard. Omelette might not even have ears. He probably couldn't form memories. He didn't understand language. There was no way he was going to... What? What was Dabi afraid of? That Omelette, a literal fetus, was going to judge him? Yeah. Or more, he was afraid that he would be the start of Omelette growing up to judge him. That Dabi would let himself be soft for someone, and that they would grow up to hate him. But Omelette needed to know. Dabi wanted to protect him from everything. Make it so that he never had to be afraid. And that started with letting him know the truth. You should know who I am. Dabi started again. I am not a good person. Hell, I'm barely even a person at this point. Really, if anything, I'd consider myself a weapon, since my purpose for most of my life was to destroy things. People. But, I don't think weapons make good dads, because weapons are made to hurt things. People. And dads should be made to love you. Yeah. Dabi passed a hand over his face. God, this was hard. So, I'm just letting you know that I'll probably, definitely, make some mistakes. God, I'm gonna mess up so bad. I hope I don't mess you up. I don't know you yet, but I know that you deserve a better dad than I'm gonna be. But life's not fair, so buckle up, Omelette. I'm what you got. Deal with it. No, that's not what he wanted to say. See, he was messing this up, too. No, I don't mean that. I mean, I do. I'm what you've got, but I mean is, I'm gonna try to be the dad you deserve. I'm letting you know now that I am never going to get there. But it's not because I'm not trying. I'm definitely going to try, because I gotta beat my old man at being a dad. I wish I were good at talking about feeling shit. Shit, I mean, crap. I meant, ugh. I can't swear around a baby. What I was trying to say is that I wish it were easier to say how I feel. It's not, I hate this, but I don't hate you. I promise, Omelette, I don't hate you. He should say it. Even if he wasn't sure if he was capable, he should at least practice so that if he finally felt it, he could be better at saying it. He took a deep breath, opened his mouth, prepared to announce that nothing came out. It was something monumental, something too big to be said out loud, even as practice. It felt like, as soon as he said it, it would burst apart, like a structure couldn't hold him together. But he had to. Omelette would not grow up without hearing these words from him. He would whisper it from now until he felt that the world would fall apart from the uttering of a few syllables. Dabi took a deep breath again. He leaned forward. He pressed his ear against Omelette's shell. He couldn't be sure, but he chose to believe he heard the faint fluttering of a heartbeat. Something about it was deeply comforting. It made his chest feel warm, and his head feel light, and it made him feel almost... He pressed his lips against Omelette's shell. It was barely a breath, but it was everything. Dabi whispered, I love you. I'm still sick, and before you comment down to take a break, blah 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 blah, too fucking late. By the time you see this, I'm no longer sick. Alright, I record ahead of schedule. Eat that. Anyways, this was a really cute chapter. I liked it. It was Dabi and the egg. It was really sweet. I really liked that ending with the whole I love you. That, oh my god, that was so good. Okay, we're finally moving on to another chapter. Oh my god, finally. Chapter 5. Summary. From the stabby one. Bar, come quickly, emergency. Oh. Oh, okay. A lot of you asking, and I try to reply to all comments, but for those who wondering, but didn't ask regarding whether or not Hawks heard Dabi through his feather, the answer is shrug. As in, yes, probably, but I didn't consider that until I finished the chapter. I'll put it in this way. If it brings you joy to believe Hawks heard, then yes, he heard. Are we sure it was really the shoes he was crying about? But I don't think he's paying too close attention, so he probably isn't hearing everything. And I say this to cover my butt for any inconsistencies. I was having some real sad boy hours writing this one, so it goes off the rails even more than usual because it made me laugh. For those of you who like The League, enjoy. Okay, so maybe Hawks did hear, because that was something I was wondering as well. Did Hawks hear that? Which then comes the question, was Hawks really crying about the shoes? Just a couple, the last episode, was it really the shoes? Hawks, is that what you were crying about? Was that really what you were crying about? Anyways, This was really nice. It was cool. I also like the ideation of the feathers, right? You know, all the feathers that I drew for the thumbnail, which were a pain in the fucking ass. By the way, I did not draw each individual feather. No, I think I drew 4 different variations, and then I just copy paste because I'm not doing a bunch of individual feathers. No, that's where I draw the line. No, I would like to keep my sanity, thank you. Anyways, as always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.